Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're setting the stage for an absolutely incredible journey. It's one that beautifully bridges ancient, deeply personal rituals with literally staggering modern scale. We are talking about the Hajj, the fifth pillar of Islam. It's a profound spiritual odyssey that calls millions of Muslims to the holy city of Mecca every single year. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how this massive event is organized, what it means historically, and most importantly, how it serves as a transformative spiritual journey from the inside out. Okay, let's dive into this. What actually drives millions of people from across the globe to endure such extreme physical demands? I mean, we're talking about navigating incredibly dense crowds in the sweltering 36 degrees Celsius heat of the Saudi Arabian desert. It's intense, right? But the sources we're looking at today make it crystal clear. The deep spiritual calling of this pilgrimage far outweighs the physical toll. It's a once-in-a-lifetime obligation for those who are physically and financially able, basically offering a chance to wipe the slate clean and start completely anew. To truly wrap our heads around the sheer scale we're talking about here, try to imagine coordinating exactly 1,673,230 people. That is the official count for the 2025 Hajj season. It's mind-boggling. Managing a human gathering of this size is genuinely one of the most complex logistical feats on the planet. To pull it off, Saudi Arabia uses an unbelievable digital infrastructure. We're talking artificial intelligence, predictive crowd management technology, and instant translation devices handling over 130 languages right at the borders. Now, as fascinating as the stats and logistics are, the Hajj is, at its core, a deeply human experience. So to help us really grasp this step-by-step chronological transformation, I want you to meet our visual stand-in, Faik. Check out his awesome custom t-shirt. We're going to follow Faik as he walks through the essential rites of the pilgrimage, discovering exactly how this journey transforms him, from the second he sets foot toward Mecca all the way to his journey home. So before Faik even reaches the physical limits of Mecca, he has to enter a state called Ihram. This is a sacred state of ritual consecration. Basically, Faik strips away that custom t-shirt and with it every single symbol of worldly status. Instead, he wraps himself in two simple, unsewn white sheets. It's a profoundly visual act that establishes absolute equality among all pilgrims. Kings and commoners, they look exactly the same, totally stripping away the material world so everyone stands equally before God. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that Ihram isn't just about the clothing. Not at all. It's a strict, demanding internal and external discipline of peace and patience. While he's in this state, Faik can't quarrel or dispute. He can't hunt or harm wildlife. Seriously, not even an insect. No cutting hair or nails, no scented products, no perfumes. It's an intense exercise in supreme self-control, completely shifting a pilgrim's mindset away from earthly vanities to prepare them for the serious spiritual work ahead. As Faik travels toward the sacred sites in his highly purified state, he begins to recite a specific mantra called the Talbiyah. It goes, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, which translates to, Here I am, O Allah, here I am. Now imagine Faik reciting this, and then imagine over 1 million other voices joining in with him. It creates this hypnotic, unifying chant that echoes across the massive crowds, acting as a beautiful verbal declaration of their readiness for the pilgrimage. As all that anticipation builds up, Faik finally arrives in Mecca and jumps right into his first physical rites. Step 1 is the tawaf. This is where he circumambulates, or walks around, the Kaaba, that iconic sacred cube at the center of the Grand Mosque, 7 times counterclockwise. This powerful circular motion really symbolizes the absolute unity of the Muslim community. Then comes step 2, the sa'i. Here Faik walks back and forth between the hills of Safa and Marwa, honoring the historic endurance of Hagar, Prophet Ibrahim's wife, and her frantic ancient search for water for her baby in the desert. While Faik is immersed in this deeply spiritual experience, we do have to acknowledge the physical reality of the environment right around him. Safely moving these massive crowds through these steps requires intense, meticulous logistical planning. Planners literally rely on detailed event timelines and pedestrian flow models just to prevent dangerous bottlenecks. And for Faik himself, personal preparation is crucial. He's got to stay medically fit, keep hydrated, and stick to shaded paths whenever he can, because heat exhaustion is a very real, critical risk in a crowd this dense. Everything Faik has done so far, all the preparation, all the rituals, it's all building toward one specific day. The Prophet Muhammad famously stated, Hajj is Arafat. Those words carry immense weight. Think about that for a second. It basically means that without this single day, the entire pilgrimage is incomplete. It is the absolute climax of the entire journey. This grand climax happens on the 9th day of the Islamic month of Zul-Hijjah. Fake travels out to the vast, expansive plain of Arafat. From noon right up until sunset, he stands in the desert alongside millions of others. It is an incredibly profound moment of reflection. Standing there in his simple white garments, Fake is seeking ultimate forgiveness, mercy, and a complete spiritual renewal. It's widely believed that on this specific auspicious day, sins are forgiven and prayers are answered. And this brilliantly illustrates the core tension of the Hajj, which I absolutely love. Think about it. On a macro level, you have this massive, dense, global crowd navigating extreme heat, crazy logistics, and pure physical exhaustion. But then, on a micro level, you have this intensely quiet, personal, individual prayer experience. Feig is simultaneously part of the world's largest human gathering while undergoing a deeply solitary internal conversation with his creator. So, as the sun finally sets on Arafat, Feig's journey continues into the final rites. He moves over to Muzdalifa, spending the night sleeping completely out in the open, right under the stars. And while he's there, he collects small pebbles. The very next day, he travels to Mina for the ritual of Rami. This involves throwing those pebbles at 3 stone pillars. It's a very physical action that symbolizes something totally internal, the personal rejection of evil, mirroring Prophet Ibrahim's resistance to the devil's temptations. Following that stoning ritual comes the Qurbani, which is the animal sacrifice. This act directly echoes Prophet Ibrahim's unwavering faith and his readiness to sacrifice his own son before God provided a ram instead. But what's really beautiful here is how this act seamlessly blends personal devotion with massive global charity. The meat from these sacrifices is packed up and distributed to people in need all over the world, linking Feig's individual act of worship in the desert to a huge system of global solidarity. With those primary rituals officially in the books, Feig heads back to the Grand Mosque in Makkah for the Tawaf al-Ifada. And then finally, just before he begins the long journey home, he performs the Tawaf al-Wada. This is the final circumambulation, the poignant, emotional farewell to the Kaaba. You can probably imagine the emotional weight Feig is feeling right here. He's exhausted, he's purified, and he's saying goodbye to the sacred site that's been the center of his entire universe for days. Taking a quick step back, it is just amazing to consider that organizing this journey has quite literally always been a monumental task. Historically, pilgrims endured these grueling 40-day camel caravans across unforgiving desert terrain, facing bandits and severe water shortages. Today, well, Feig likely flew in on a modern airliner in just a matter of hours. The logistics, the tech, the transportation, all of that has completely transformed. But the spiritual core of the rituals we just walked through, that remains completely and utterly untouched by time. So as Feig finally returns home, he is a fundamentally changed person. In a lot of societies, returning pilgrims carry a highly honored social status, often even adopting the title Hajj before their name. But way more importantly than a title, Feig carries a profound, lifelong bond of unity and equality. Having stood shoulder to shoulder with millions of people from 165 different countries, all dressed in the exact same simple cloth, his perspective on the material world and his spiritual community is forever altered. Which brings up a really profound question I want to leave you all with today. How does stripping away the material world actually reveal our true spiritual core? Whether you're undertaking a literal physical journey across the globe or just a quiet journey of self-reflection at home, it's an incredible concept to chew on. I really hope this explainer has shed some fascinating light on the deeply spiritual and, frankly, massively logistical wonder that is the Hajj. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to 3F Penglima channel so we can keep diving into these amazing topics together. Keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next explainer.